for having me here, and good morning, viewers at home. I was somewhere some days back, and someone asked me something of this nature too, and I told the person to write it down, that the coming election that is happening on the 15th of August between my principal, Governor Ademola Adeleke, and the other contenders, that we are going to have a margin of win that has never been recorded in the history of elections in Osun State. And I'm always proud to say it, and I'm repeating it here, that the chances of winning for the Accord is wide, is so wide that the contending parties would not even bother to challenge the elections in court, because it is there is this popular saying in Yoruba that omi tó bá mọ níwọ̀n da ilá sí. So when the margin is too wide, they will just go back home and sleep and say, see, let's go and prepare for the next election. So I am confident, and we are confident in the Accord, that we are winning this election by the grace of God and by the support of the Osun people. It is everywhere. Democracy is about the people. Election is also about the people. Even if you have wonderful scorecard and the people decided that they are not going to vote you in, then you go back home and sleep. Election is always about numbers. Of course, your performance, your scorecard should ordinarily help you in getting the support and buy-in of the electorate. But it is not always enough. We have seen people who have even performed wonderfully well, but their performance couldn't even give them a return ticket. But in this instance, my principal, the governor of Osun State, has performed beyond our expectation. Even some of us who are with him, we never envisaged that the governor is going to perform this well. So he has done so much and so well. And to the glory of God, he has the backing of the Osun people. There is no doubt about it that Governor Ademola Adeleke touched Ede. But to say that all the projects are concentrated in Ede is far from the truth. The reality is you have to go round. Governor Ademola Adeleke has done what they used to say in Yoruba as kosheleri. Some of the infrastructural work that he has done across the major towns in Osun are projects that nobody has envisaged could happen in some of these communities. Iwo land, the people in the opposition APC used to say that Iwo land is the headquarters of the progressive politics in Nigeria, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There has not been any strong infrastructural presence to commensurate, to establish that fact that Iwo is the homeland of progressive politics in the southwest. But to the glory of God, for the first time in the history of that town, Governor Ademola Adeleke has commissioned a dual carriageway. We were in Iwo sometimes back before the commissioning of that road, and the people of Iwo were praising Governor Ademola Adeleke everywhere you go. They were thanking him that Ashe Iwo le dabai, meaning that can Iwo be this beautiful, and they were all thanking Governor Ademola Adeleke. So Iwo, to the best of my knowledge, if my memory serves me right, is not Ede. Go to Ife, sir. As we speak, as we are here now, there is a flyover that is going on to further beautify Ife, that is the source of the Yoruba nation, the Yoruba people. This has never happened in the history of the ancient town of Ife. It is happening under the watch of Governor Ademola Adeleke. Go to the headquarters of the Ijesha land, go to Ilesha. There is a dual carriageway that has been commissioned far back as months ago. This has never happened before in the history of Ijesha land. We've done similar thing in Ila and other places. So to say that Adeleke is concentrated only on Ede land is far from the truth. That's the reality. Ordinarily, one would want to be concerned, ordinarily, looking at the fact that a senator is a senator. We all know the influence that a senator can have on his constituents. However, you now have to look at the circumstances surrounding the people that defected. There are some of them who already, in fact, majority of them who defected are people who knew that they could not get a return ticket under the accord because already they have become very, very unpopular. And let me tell you this, most of them got elected the other time. They rode on the back of the popularity of Governor Ademola Adeleke. You know, most people just follow the bandwagon that, oh, but Ademola, let's support these people too, so that Ademola can have peace of mind, so that he can have people both at the state and at the federal level to give him the support that he needs. Majority of them alone, when they contest, they can't win anything. And I can assure you that we are going to see what will happen. Those of them that felt that they could be on their own and now they have gone to join the opposition party, the result will come out hopefully by February next year. Then we will know if truly they have the wherewithal to win elections on their own or not. And surprisingly, one of them just defected back to the PDP some days back. He claimed that the promises they made to him, they didn't fulfill it, and he cannot stay in a party where promises are not being kept. Senator Ajagunla from Osun Central had gone back to the PDP. And now, unfortunately for him, the ticket for that party is now being contended because there is someone who had claimed that he had won the primary of the PDP, and that one is taking him up everywhere. So, ordinarily, like I said, it should be something that you should look at. But for those caliber of people that defected, and for the replacement that we have had for them in everywhere they have defected, I think the Accord party can go home and sleep. In politics, there is this popular saying in Yoruba that kò sí kóra ẹ̀dá sọ́run ló ṣèlú kóra ẹ̀dá sẹ́yìn ni. And since we believe that politics is a game of number, I think on our part in the Accord, we had people who defected that have added more value to us than those that left. Because like I said, majority of the people that left us are people whose value had actually dropped even before they left, who felt that as it is, they couldn't secure the ticket of the party, so they went to where they would get it on a platter of gold. But if you look at the caliber of people that have defected to the Accord, particularly of recent, they are people of timber and caliber politically. There is Alhaji Adeoti, who defected from Iwo. The first election that we did years back, if you remember, the election was between Alhaji Adeoti, Omishore, and Governor Ademola Adeleke. So now we have this, even though Senator Omishore is still in the APC, but every onlooker, every analyst knows that the political machinery of Omishore is with Governor Ademola Adeleke. Because, of course, all his lieutenants, including former commissioners, Bamishayemi, former special advisors, Barrister Ojo Williams, and all of them, they have joined the Accord. So this is to show you that the political machinery of Senator Yelo Omishore, they are all now with the Accord. So looking at the caliber of those that we have received in Accord and the caliber of those that left us, I think we gained more. It's like signing Messi and Ronaldo in football to signing one unknown or player that actually won't give you any value for the signing. So we are good to go as it is. Holds the civil society community in very high esteem. And to show its seriousness, as we speak today, there are two aides, there are two of us that the governor appointed to actually oversee that community, the civil society community. Just to show you how serious Governor Ademola Adeleke has taken the civil society space and the civil society community. And to the glory of God, the civil society community in Osun today is one of the most striving, where people are allowed, to freely agitate, freely make demands. And in fact, recently I was in Ibadan late last year, where Osun came forth in Nigeria for civic society space, where civil society activities are not gagged, where people are allowed to practice civil society the way they feel like, where laws are not being enacted to stifle activities of civil society, where civil society groups are allowed to operate and operate genuinely the way they actually want to operate. So it is a thing of joy that the Osun State government is doing this and giving civil society the opportunity to freely and actively do civil society work. And when I came on board as the senior special assistant, the first thing I did was to call for a meeting where heads of various civil society groups were called together. We engaged and had one-on-one discussion on some of the issues, what are they expecting government to do, and of course what government is also expecting from them. And after that, I think I've been engaging with civil society groups every now and then, ensuring that they are always on the same page with government policies and programs. And when there are agitations and questions that civil society need to ask, of course, we always ensure that they are promptly and adequately attended to. And I think it's important that I also mention this, that for the first time in the history of Osun State, the Adeleke administration actually gave support to NGOs who are service-based NGOs, particularly those that are in the area of children welfare, children protection, and the rest. About 50 of them earlier this year were given certificate of commendation, to further encourage them to do more for the welfare of children and some who are also doing women advocacy work. And government also gave them a token amount of money, to support whatever it is that they are doing in those areas. And I think this is as a result of the interactions that we have had with civil society groups who have over the years been asking that what has government even been doing to encourage us, apart from just government calling for registration, calling for people to register. And I must also say this, that registration, it is the standard everywhere. Government is always concerned about civil society groups that operates within their territory. It's important that government should know what exactly they are doing. At a time, it was in the news that there are civil society groups in the northeast who were bankrolling all these Islamic jihadists who are practicing terrorism. At a point, even the federal government had to increase the level of registration and the amount that they pay, and the process became stricter. For example, now, if you register a civil society organization, you even have to register with the EFCC. You have to get clearance from the EFCC to be sure of the sources of your funding and what you are doing with them, so that you will not be getting funding from terrorist organizations abroad and be using it to promote terrorism in Nigeria. So it all boils down to the fact that government should be concerned about what civil society groups are doing. And that is why in Osun, we always ask civil society groups that want to operate in Osun to also register with the Ministry of Women Affairs, so that we will know the civil society groups that are operating in our state and what is it exactly that they are doing. So to that end, that was why to encourage others that have not registered, because we still find other civil society groups that have refused to even register, despite the call for them to register. So to encourage them, rather than pursue them around and say, we don't allow you to operate, we'll lock your offices and the rest, government decided to encourage those that have registered, because the 50 that government gave incentive to are those that have registered with the state government and that we already know what they are doing. So that has also encouraged those that have not registered to want to register and be identified by the state government.
Let's move to I have just 2 questions before we call it a day on this program. The first one has to do with the high level of political violence. As a stakeholder, what would be your advice? Because there has been a blame game. When there's a violent killing or money or an attack somewhere, the opposition will say it is Accord people that plan it. And the Accord will claim that it is the handwork of the opposition. You as a critical stakeholder, what would be your advice? Is the election should be a do or die, or an happening to be killing ourselves? By the time you kill everybody, who are you going to govern? What would be your message?
Yes, it is very, very unfortunate that political actors in Osun have resorted to violence in the political era that we find ourselves. It is sad because quoting former President Goodluck Jonathan, he said that no ambition is worth the life of any human being. So that's actually, it is supposed to be like that, because killing or maiming anybody in the name of promoting ambition is something that we are supposed to run away from. However, that being said, the governor of Osun State, people can testify that he is a peace-loving governor who has always prioritized peace over thuggery and all these behaviors that we have seen of recent. If you follow his trajectory over the years, this is someone who always prioritized peace, always encouraged people to be peaceful. During the local government election saga, you know, after the state conducted election and local government chairmen were duly sworn in, the governor asked them to go and sit at home. It wasn't because he could not ask them to go and take over the councils, but he was being mindful that, okay, if they go over to take over the council now, these people could resort to also coming to the council and it might result in violence. So he prioritized violence every time. So it is clear that our party and our governor, clearly we are not the ones that are instigating this round of violence. It is actually the opposition party, the opposition political players that are. And I used to tell people that it is usually their style. You know, they will cause trouble and then turn up blaming others for it. It has been their tradition over years. If we all remember in 2022 election too, when the APC was about to be divided and there are people in top and some in APC, the APC will allegedly go and attack people in top, even during their meetings. And then when they are asked that what happened, they will say it is the top people that are shooting themselves. They are the ones attacking themselves. How will people be attacking themselves in their own political meeting? They say because they are fighting over offices. Which office? So this has been their style. This has been their tradition. So we are not surprised that they have resulted into violence. However, violence, it is a pre-planned thing. They started with the issue of vandalization of billboard and posters. That was when they started. That time I told some people that this thing, it is probably going to increase because these people have seen clearly that the electorate will not vote for them, and they want to do everything to scare them from coming out to vote on election day. So if they are able to cause enough fear in the heart of the people, they will probably reduce the number of electorate that will come out on the day of election to vote for Governor Ademola Adeleke. And that is the plan. And that is why, for no reason, you see branded vehicles of the opposition APC on the street. They will suddenly bring out guns and start shooting at people for no just cause. You know, they went to motor parks the other time, even before the issue of takeover that they were attempting to do. They went to garages, motorbike parks, and they were shooting at motorbike people on their motorbike. They were shooting at buses that parked and were loading people for transportation. They were doing all this just to cause a state of fear in the mind of the people,
so as to reduce the number of people that will come out and vote. Unfortunately for them, it will not work, and it is not working because the people of Osun, the Osun electorate, are sophisticated. They are the type of people that you cannot just cow by intimidating them. They will come out. We have passed through this phase before. Yes, we have passed this through phase. I remember vividly in 2014 when Governor Adeleke and Yolo Mishori were contesting. The opposition then brought in federal might and they attempted to do everything to intimidate and harass the people, but the people resisted. You know, the people stood firm. You know, when they brought dogs, the people were even telling them, so we are like going through the same phase again. The people of Osun are determined, and I believe strongly that they will massively come out and vote Governor Ademola Adeleke. If you prevent people from wearing a court cap in town, that does not mean you go and stop them on election day from voting for who they want to vote. if you prevent people from wearing carrying a accord flag, even my vehicle, I have a branded accord vehicle, people used to stop me and tell me, Emma, they want to agree, Emma, show now. Those are the kind of things they want to paint. They want to paint the atmosphere of fear. But we thank God that the Osun people, like I said, will not cow themselves, they will not bow to intimidation. They will resist it, and it will be clear by the 16th of August when Governor Ademola Adeleke is declared the overwhelming winner of the governorship election. The Independent Electoral Commission used to work with the leadership of National Union of Road Transport Workers for the movement of electoral material. And we are all witnesses to what has been happening in the state for the past few days. The APC-led arm of thugs who are wanting to take over the leadership of the National Union forcefully. They have done everything within their powers. And as it is today, the government have maintained that the government of Osun recognizes as the chairman of the road union. And there have been calls from various political actors. I'm aware that even other sister political parties who are also players in this election have informed INEC that they will not be party to an arrangement where a factionalized National Union of Road Transport Workers will be engaged to move election materials on election day, because clearly it is part of the agenda why they are actually running around to ensure that they hijack that union so that they could control the movement of election materials on election day. They could choose to delay election materials in some places or not even take some materials to some places if they choose to. So I would want to align with that call of those that have made the calls to INEC that INEC should consider looking for alternative means of moving election materials on election day. There are sister states around where INEC can liaise with their unions. We have vehicles in Ibadan. They can partner with the leadership of the union in Ibadan. We have Ekiti. All the neighboring states are there. They can bring in vehicles to assist INEC in moving materials on election day. It will not be acceptable that INEC should engage a factional leadership of the National Road Union to move election materials on election day, when it is clear that these people are partisan and they have a clear agenda why they want to take over the National Union. So I'm joining my voice to those that have been calling for not using this category of people to move materials on election day. Yes. Unfortunately, the federal might that the opposition APC are relying on is not actually available to them, as they are trying to even give them the impression. We are all aware that the accord just few days ago, the accord has been doing over time, has even adopted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as their preferred candidate for the election. So, and we are all here, we are all alive when an aspirant for the governorship ticket of APC told the world that they went to meet President Bola Tinubu in Abuja, and he told them that mi ò retí ọmọ oyè látọ̀dọ̀ yín o, Ademola Adeleke mo ní mò ń fẹ́ o, ìwọ ló sọ pé ò fẹ́ o. Today, the president has no issue with us in accord in Osun, and we also don't have issue with the president. And the body language of the federal government is that the election will be free and fair. Some weeks back, members of APC were castigating the Imo State governor, who is the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, for a statement he uttered. He was interviewed and was asked how the Osun election will go. And he said that, well, we are coming to Osun to talk to the people, but it's the people that will decide who they want as governor. So they were expecting him to say that, no, we'll take Osun over by fire, by thunder. So that is to show you the body language of, if the chairman of the Governors Forum, the Progressive Governors Forum, can say that, it shows that
the chairman of the...
He's now the chairman of their campaign council. So he has said that, come, let the people decide. And that is what democracy should be about. It shouldn't be about showing might, that we are in the federal. So we want to show you that we have federal might, we'll take over your state by force. The people all the time must be allowed to decide who their leaders will be through the ballot, and not through any shenanigans or the show of federal might.
What will
To the security agencies, let me begin with them. I want to encourage the security agencies to be the security of the people and not the security of APC or even Accord. They should stand by what the law says, provide security for all Osun electorates before, during, and after the election. That is my call to security agencies. And to the umpire, which is the Independent National Electoral Commission, I want to passionately beg them that the Osun election is a pointer to what will happen in the general election in 2027. If the Osun election is mad, then the people will lose faith in INEC to even be able to conduct a free and fair election in 2027. So this election is a litmus test for INEC. INEC must rise above board. They must do the needful. They must ensure that the Osun election is free and fair. We are not asking anybody to rig for us. We are not asking anybody to manipulate the election for us. Allow the mandate of the people to see the light of the day. Allow people the free will to choose who their leaders will be. That is my call to the Independent National Electoral Commission. And to other stakeholders, observers, civil society, the media and the rest, people should please report the election as it is. If the election is not free and fair, report it that it's not free and fair. So report what you see. There is no need for cover up. If the election is free and fair, say it. We witnessed a free and fair election. So let us say what we have seen as it is. It is only then that democracy can survive. The moment we begin to shield the truth, we begin to align with some political parties to deceive the electorate, to deceive the people, then democracy is in danger. So I'm calling on all stakeholders to play their part and ensure that the Osun election is free, fair, and credible.